In earlier episodes, I have presented 17 chapters from my book titled Great Saints of India. This is the 18th chapter of the book dealing with Swamy Vivekananda. Chapter 18, Swamy Vivekananda.
Swamy Vivekananda was born to an Orthodox Hindu family in Bengal in the year 1863. His parents named him Narendranath Datta. His father, Vishwanath Datta, was a successful lawyer with interest in a wide range of subjects. His mother, Bhuvaneshwari Devi, was a lady endowed with deep devotion, strong character, and other qualities. From an early age, Narendra displayed signs of great compassion and also the qualities of a natural leader. He had a sharp intellect and he studied extensively the literature from both the East and the West. He excelled in music, gymnastics, and studies. By the time he graduated from Calcutta University, he had acquired a vast knowledge of different subjects, especially Western philosophy and history. He particularly liked the rational reasoning of the West and was dismayed by many of the religious superstitions of the Indian society. He felt sad about the cultural decline of the Indian society. He was therefore drawn to join the Brahmo Samaj, which was a Hindu movement which sought to revitalize Indian life and spirituality through a rationalistic approach and abandonment of image worship. However, the rationality of the Brahmo Samaj could not satisfy the latent spiritual hunger of Narendra. From an early age, he began to have spiritual experiences and felt an overwhelming desire to see God. With a directness that was typical of him, he asked those around whether they had seen God. All of them answered in the negative. In the year 1881, when he was 18 years of age, he first heard about Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa from one of his English professors at his college. He was informed that Sri Ramakrishna was reputed to be a great spiritual personality and had realized God. Narendra went and met Sri Ramakrishna in a place called Dakshineshwar. He straightaway asked Sri Ramakrishna the question which he had put to several people. Sir, have you seen God? Without a moment's hesitation, Sri Ramakrishna replied, Yes, I have. I see him as clearly as I see you, only in a much intenser sense. Thereafter, Sri Ramakrishna removed several doubts raised by Narendra. Thus began a unique guru-disciple relationship, and Sri Ramakrishna won him over through his pure, unselfish love. Narendra now became a frequent visitor to Dakshineshwar and, under the guidance of Sri Ramakrishna, made rapid strides on the spiritual path. At Dakshineshwar, Narendra also met several young men who were devoted to Sri Ramakrishna. They all became his close friends. Narendra's father died suddenly in the year 1884. This caused considerable distress to Narendra. This left the family penniless, and Narendra had to bear the burden of supporting his mother, brothers, and sisters. Another event which caused pain to Narendra was the illness of Sri Ramakrishna, which was diagnosed to be cancer of the throat. In September 1885, Sri Ramakrishna was moved to a house at Shampukur and a few months later to a rented villa at Kasipur. In these two places, the young disciples nursed Sri Ramakrishna with devotion and care. Narendra joined this group as its leader in spite of poverty at home and inability to find a job for himself. Sri Ramakrishna instilled in these young men the spirit of renunciation and brotherly love for one another. He gave specific instructions to Narendra about the formation of a new monastic order. In the year 1886, Sri Ramakrishna passed away. After his death, 15 of his young disciples began to live together in a dilapidated building in North Kolkata. Under the leadership of Narendra, they formed a new monastic brotherhood, and in 1887 they took the formal vows of sannyasa, thereby assuming new names. Narendra became Swamy Vivekananda. After establishing the new monastic order, Vivekananda heard the inner call for a greater mission in his life. So, in the middle of 1890, he embarked on a long journey of exploration and discovery of India. During his travels all over India, he was deeply moved to see the appalling poverty and backwardness of the masses. He noticed that the downtrodden masses had lost faith in their capacity to improve their lot, and that it was necessary to infuse into their minds faith in themselves. For this, they needed a life-giving, inspiring message. He found this message in Vedanta, the ancient system of religious philosophy of India. To him, the masses needed two kinds of knowledge. One thing, they need the secular knowledge to improve their economic condition. Secondly, they need the spiritual knowledge of the Atman, the potential divinity of the soul, to infuse in them faith in themselves and strengthen their morale. And to achieve this objective, he felt that the masses should be given good education. This culminated in the establishment of a Ramakrishna mission later in 1897. While these ideas were taking shape in his mind, Swamy Vivekananda heard about the world's Parliament of Religions to be held in Chicago in 1893. His friends and admirers in India wanted him to attend the parliament. He too felt that this would provide the right forum to present Sri Ramakrishna's message to the world. So he decided to go to America. He, however, wanted to have an inner certitude and divine call regarding his mission. To get these things, he sat in deep meditation on the rock island at Kanyakumari. Finally, he left for America on 31st May 1893, and his Chicago address became history. Swamy Vivekananda returned to India in January 1897 and established the Ramakrishna Mission. It is a unique type of organization in which monks and common people would jointly undertake propagation of practical Vedanta and various forms of social service such as running hospitals, schools, etc., and conducting massive relief and rehabilitation work for victims of earthquakes, cyclones, and other calamities in different parts of India and other countries. In response to the enthusiastic welcome that he received everywhere, he delivered a series of lectures in different parts of India, which created a great stir all over the country. In early 1898, he acquired a big plot of land on the western bank of the Ganga river at a place called Belur to have a permanent abode for the Ramakrishna Mutt. Here he established a new universal pattern of monastic life which adapted ancient monastic ideal to the conditions of modern life. The Mutt gave equal importance to personal illumination and social service and was open to all men without any distinction of religion, race, or caste. Many people in the West became his disciples or devoted friends. Notable among them were Margaret Noble, later known as Sister Nivedita, Captain and Mrs. Xavier, Josephine McLeod, and Sarah Ole Bull. His Indian disciples joined the Ramakrishna Mutt and became sannyasins. In June 1899, Swamy Vivekananda went to the West on a second visit. This time he spent most of his time in the west coast of USA. After delivering many lectures there, he returned to Belur Mutt in December 1900. The rest of his life was spent in India, inspiring and guiding people. Incessant work, especially giving lectures and inspiring people, told upon his health. His health deteriorated and the end came in July 1902.
I have also published an audio book on the subject. The links for the book are titled Great Science of India and the audio book are given in the description part of this presentation.